and that looks like exactly what is going to happen.
I mean, the time of possession is really crucial, especially on the second side of play on any uplink map. And it was just all easy G with that. And of course, when you're able to score on those possessions, makes it even better. And they are just looking good to potentially take the lead right back in this series. And Stumpy trying to continue to put scores up on the board here for his squad. Casmo taking him out even after that score went through. And it's now 13-5, 30 seconds remaining, and it is looking like it will be a 2-1 lead by ECG in this best of 5.
Yeah, I mean, just great stuff for them. Like I said, if they managed to, put that last map behind them, which wasn't the greatest for them, they would just come out and slaughter like they did. And it wasn't Stumpy this time. Stumpy was actually relatively negative. Muni, though, 32-14. Casmo, 28-22. Just, great all-around stuff from them. Great use of the specialists, great use of the streaks, excellent patience, like you said. They that was incredibly impressive.
Absolute dominant performance there by EZG, and they seem to continue to pick up these wins on Respawn quite effectively. And really, their only wild card has been Search and Destroy. They're very good on certain maps, have dropped others, and if you're Earthroot Gaming, you got to have a short-term memory right now and just try to figure out a way to win the CTF and force a map number 5. Will they be able to do that to improve their standings for the final week of the season is the question here. And it's sure to be an interesting affair here going the distance into the playoffs. 32-14 was Muni in that one with 3 carry scores and 1 throwing score. That's a good performance objectively and also in the slaying column.
Yeah, what more can you say? 32-14, like you said, 3 carries. So objective play using the Psychosis. I think he used it like 4 times,
Yeah.
And that just causes confusion. Allows your teammates to get a bunch of those kills. You saw the Casmo with the 4 or the 3 Tempest kills. Then in the middle of the map, he just calls out a Psychosis just to give him some extra time to figure out what they're doing. Then another Tempest kill. Just excellent communication by EZG. And again, like we said back in the hardpoint, this is with a pickup person. And I think Search and Destroy is a little bit easier to do with a pickup team because you all know kind of the same general strategies. Maybe you don't know everyone's ins and outs, but in those respawns, man, you got to be on it 24/7. And they're looking real good.
They absolutely are. Of course, map number 4 will be played very, very shortly. That's going to be Capture the Flag, and it's going to be a really important one for Earthroot to pick up. And if they don't, they're currently on match point. If they don't, they unfortunately will lose the series. But of course, CTF on Stronghold will be coming up next. And a huge shout out to each and every one of you guys who have tweeted out the stream and are there supporting these two teams. Of course, make sure you're following that stream as well, because if you get to 100 viewers, we will be doing a giveaway, and that should be pretty exciting as well. So make sure that you are tweeting out the stream and supporting the stream, and we'll support you guys with a giveaway later on. But for right now, we're going to go into a quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere. Map number 4 will be right after this break.
line wrapped around the building like the bow on the gift box. Skinny jeans, small tees, Jordans, and thrift socks. The chicks rock yoga pants, sweaters, and smart scarves. And congregated clubs, coffee shops, and the dog parks. It all starts late. People wait at the gate. The gatekeeper think we ain't equal. Security hate people and straight treat you like 3 stacks and outcasts. Those with clout pass, the rest folk out cash. As you enter the spot, temperature's hot. Young ballers spinning, hippin' the guap, pippin' the plot, sippin' they pop. The bottles put your tip in the pot, or let the brown liquor hit your furnace, flippin' and watch. So with the gal in my wine up, the body like so, and the man in my love bullshit party like bro. It's ladies' night. There's baby mama or maybe wife looking for love in this crazy life like that. We do it for you.
I tell you a story about me and you, out on the water, surrounded by the blue. They scream that only I'll be saved. They toss off the line, but I just let it float away. Yeah, I'll let it float away. I'll let it float away. I'll let it float away, float away, float away. Yeah, I'll let it float away. I'll let it float away. I'll let it float away.
Welcome back to Earthroot Gaming versus EZG. This is map number 4, the PA, week number 8, and we have we have Stronghold, Capture the Flag, and right in the ban and protect here, we're seeing a lot of what we saw in the last match, which is a banning of 4 straight specialists: Overdrive, Kinetic Armor, Active Camo, and Heat Wave. Neither team looks like they want to play with specialists. Mark, what's going on here?
Well, it's just seeming like they're targeting particular players that are effective with those specialist abilities, and you know, to see 4 consecutively voted out by both of the teams is definitely telling, to say the least. And this might be an exact replica of the last one we saw, but I eat my words very quickly there as Paranoia gets rid of the HCXD for this particular one. So, you know, there's still Vision Pulse. That's one that is very useful on Capture the Flag. So all of the votes have gone through for ERG. Now it's EZG's turn to figure out what the last thing is. Obviously, it's going to be a ban. There's no point in protecting something for the final vote. So for Casmo, he's got a lot of decision-making to try to figure out here. And instead, lets the vote go through, does not place a vote. And that leaves Vision Pulse, one of those specialist abilities that will most likely be utilized by both rosters.
Yeah, I mean, right there, it's probably didn't really feel like anything was going to be too advantageous. I mean, there's no rapid fire, so you're not really too worried about a Man of War and SMG being too strong, or even the M8. No high caliber, so the Shiva, unless you just wanted to get rid of a Shiva, I'm sure that you're probably comfortable using either a Shiva or an ICR. They didn't really, I guess, care too much, so that's not too unexpected, not banning something in the last part, unless it was really something they thought the other team was good at. It looks like the specialists were the main focus, because usually rapid fire and high caliber come out anyways, so it's just these teams hate playing against specialists, apparently, or at least all the specialist abilities, other than the Vision Pulse and the Psychosis, which we have now seen both of. Gravity Spikes will be very interesting to see where that's used, if it does, come to a point, but definitely looking to see the Annihilator and the Scythe play a big role in this matchup.
Yeah, it's definitely going to play a role. Of course, you're going to see Vision Pulse on both sides of the rosters as advertised. Gravity Spikes, definitely one that I always talk about because you could be very effective with it if you time it properly. But if you get shut down in the middle of one of those attempts to get those spikes to activate, you're going to have a long day. And of course, it only uses half of them if you do get shut down when you're trying to use the gravity spikes. But nonetheless, it is effective in certain situations, but more so in hardpoint than in capture the flag, in my opinion, because it's too random when it comes to where those kills are going to really be beneficial for your team. If you're trying to get a really defensive play where you're trying to get a flag return right at your home base, potentially could be a good use for it. But I'm really looking forward to seeing what Stumpy is going to bring to the table with those gravity spikes. But other than that, it's pretty straightforward on both sides of the rosters.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be a good one for if, you're trying to get into that top bedroom in the mansion area and you just want to slide right up on in there and smack that down, or that middle window area where like B domination is. That might be a good one. But other than that, you have to stay away from your own teammates because you'll gravity spike them into oblivion as well. So, it could be one of those things where, they pull the flag and they've got two people running with them and just gets a three-piece and changes the whole course of the game, or it just looks like a fool and gets shot out of midair. And that happens to me all the time in pub matches and going against people who can actually aim. I'm sure it's even more of a chance of that happening. But I'm really interested to see where the Psychosis comes into effect. It was used a lot in the last match. Overclock wasn't banned, so I'm expecting to see that. But I think the one-shot potential of the Annihilator could really shut down or, open up a lot of pushes.
Oh, it absolutely can. And, Stumpy had the choice of picking up Glitch for this as well, because that was still on the board. And that probably would have had some more usage on this map as opposed to on the previous one. But overall, it is a 2-1 series lead here for EZG as they have been able to pick up both respawns, both in dominating fashion. That hard point was won by a score of 250 to 116. Then we saw a search and destroy go all the way to that round 11. Earthroot outlasting EZG on that. And then, of course, the latest victory for EZG was that breach uplink where they were able to win that 15-5. Right now, of course, capture the flag on Stronghold is the map you're going to be watching. And honestly, Pattern, I want to know which player we need to go on board with here to start.
I was going to say Stumpy, but he has an M8. Actually, 3 players have an M8, so they look like they're going to have one player, be aggressive, and it looks like it's going to be Muni. Does have Blast Suppressor, Afterburner, and a Smoke Grenade, so this is going to be our, looks like flag carrier objective player. Does run into 2 already and immediately retreats, as Stumpy is the one that gets the first 2-piece there, where he switched over to the KN and does have a concussion grenade flying through the middle of the map, doesn't kick up clutch, and Earthroot holding their own here as that first push has now been brought to a halt.
One thing that I really like of this roster here is, for Earthroot I should say, is that they're very good at defensive plays. They know how to buckle down and try to figure out how to get those trades effectively. Now they just have to worry about getting their offense up a little bit more aggressively throughout the map to get that map control and get those flag pulls. As it is right now, Remarks trying to set up a gunfight, does get a chance to get it to go his way, but once again, passive play is really countered well by EZG as they're able to get 3 players down for Earthroot, and that's going to let that flag really open for a potential pull, but instead, no pull has gone through. Both teams just trying to get their base clear at this point in time.
Yeah, and like you said, I think as you were mentioning it, I was thinking it because I was seeing it, is that Earthroot, a little bit indecisive in terms of getting aggressive inside the base. They had 2 players over at that bottom white truck or the car area and saw a player at the back of the red van, and they didn't do anything. They could have easily made a trade or at least pushed up in, and it just gave